Have you ever wondered how many hours per day you need to homeschool your child? In this video, I want to share how you can figure that out using your child's age and their attention span as your primary factor. Please hit like on this video and subscribe to the channel so that you get notified whenever a new video is released. So today I want to share a really helpful rule of thumb that I use when I'm planning my homeschool lessons. And that is that you can figure out how long your lesson should be depending on your child's age. So here's how you do it. You want to take your child's age and then multiply by 2 to 5 minutes. And that will tell you how long each lesson should be for each subject. So if you have a 5-year-old, for example, you want to multiply 5 times 2 to 5 minutes. So 5 times 2 is 10, and 5 times 5 is 25. So that means that your range for how long each lesson in your homeschool day should be is somewhere between 10 and 25 minutes. So that means that if you have a 5-year-old, you're not going to be planning to spend an hour a day on math, because realistically their attention span is going to run out somewhere between 10 and 25 minutes. And so that means that when we're homeschooling, it's really important to keep lessons really short. A lot of times, for most people, when they use the rule of thumb to figure out how long their lesson should be, they quickly discover that it's a lot shorter than they thought. And I know that was true for me. When I started using this formula, I realized that my lessons needed to be way shorter than they were. And this was really helpful in my homeschool. I actually started setting a timer and stopping the lesson when we hit that time, the top end of that range. And that was really helpful because I started to notice that when my kids were getting frustrated with homeschool and getting discouraged, that almost always was happening because I was pushing that lesson beyond the upper limit of what their attention span could handle. And so I think it's really important that we make sure that we keep those lessons short, because that helps our kids be able to have the stamina to get through them without getting frustrated, which will make them enjoy school more and really be more motivated to learn. So when you're planning your homeschool day and you're trying to figure out how many hours your day should take, a good strategy to use is to figure out what subjects you want to teach and then put a block in for each of those subjects that's the right length. So for example, with the 5-year-old, if we're trying to shoot for between 10 and 25 minutes, I might take each subject, give it 15 minutes, and then see how many subjects we needed. So in our homeschool right now, we're doing Bible, we're doing math, we're doing reading, handwriting, science or history, and a read aloud book. So I think that was 6 subjects. So at 15 minutes each, that would be an hour and a half. So that's a good way to kind of get a gauge for how long homeschool would need to take for your child. Another important thing to consider is that sometimes you can have way more subjects than you have time to fill. Maybe you want your child to learn about art and music, and you want to learn a foreign language, and you have all these extra things that you want to add in, but you don't necessarily want to do 16 subjects every day. If that's the case, then you might want to consider a loop schedule. So a loop schedule is where you choose a whole bunch of subjects and you put them on a list. And so the first day you do the first subject on the list. And if you have time, maybe the second one. And then the next day you go back and you pick up where you left off on the list and go on to the next subjects. And you keep repeating until you get back to the beginning of the list, and then you start over again. And so this allows you to be able to include more subjects in your day than you really feel like you have time to devote time to every day. So you can include subjects occasionally or once a week or every other day by using a loop schedule. I'll share a link in the description of this video to another video that explains loop schedule in depth and why you might want to use one. So hopefully this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe to the channel so that you'll get notified whenever a new video is released. And please answer in the comments, how many hours a day do you spend homeschooling?